How's it going, everybody? Nikki D here, coming to live, man, yet again, or should I say, Sicky Nikki. Just recovering off of a cold, so voice is going to be a little bit hoarse. But we'll try to make a video here and see how it's going. So, a couple things with online dating that came up recently. I had a couple conversations with a couple women, and they didn't go really well. But I wanted to just reflect on them because you guys always like to hear how my situations go and how personally I deal with, I don't know, I guess you would call it rejection, but just things like that. Now obviously, like, these were really recent. I was sick at the time, so like, yeah, I didn't really give a crap, to be honest. I still don't, but I give a crap less when I'm sick because I'm just focusing on being sick. It's like, all right, I gotta get through that. So when these conversations come up like they do, it's like, all right, well, who cares, right? So there's two situations. I'll talk about both pretty quickly. I don't know if I'll put screenshots up. I might, and I might just put like just of the paragraph. I don't want to have obviously any of their information out there, out of respect, right? But two women. Anyway, so both were on Hinge, and I'll talk about the first one. So she came off pretty strong in a first message. So it was kind of weird, but she sent me a rose. So that's basically a super like, if you don't know what that is. So that's a super like on Hinge. Sent me a message with it. I was like, oh wow. And I just responded to that message. I didn't ask her anything. I just responded to the message. Her message was like really forward, in my opinion. And again, I might not have it on screen, but just take what I'm saying, just with a grain of salt. But yeah, so it was pretty forward though. I will say that it was something like I said something about a movie night or something in my opening line or one of my prompts or something. And she's like, like, not word for word, but it was like, what kind of movie would we watch? And it was like immediate, right? Like, I was like, mate, I don't even know your name yet. Is it like Gertrude? I don't know, right? So either way, though, I ended up responding. And I responded a total of 3 times over like a couple days. It was literally I was getting one response in like 24 hours. Which is, it's fine, but it's like you're not really building a conversation. You're just kind of like, okay. And yeah, so it was 3 and 3, right? Like she had sent the message, I responded. She sent something, I responded, etc. Right? But I had sent 3 messages, and again, I apologize. The nose will be super clogged. This video, it's completely congested. I'm trying to get relief, but not happening. But anyway, like I was saying, so yeah, so I sent 3 messages. She sent a message after that, basically telling me she was no longer interested in me at all, and I thought that was really interesting. Her reasoning was that I hadn't asked her a question, and I just responded back that it was only 3. I only responded 3 times. Like, that's been it. Like, we've barely been talking. And just have a good one. I think it's kind of interesting. Like, yeah, if a conversation goes a lot more naturally, sure. Like, you want to ask questions, and I normally do ask questions, actually. But it's interesting to see when someone else comes from it, from someone else's point of view. Like, I'm normally the one, instigating all the conversations. Apologies here, guys. Yeah, I'm normally making all the conversations happen, so it's actually funny to hear that from someone else going, you didn't really ask anything. It's like, wow, that's fair. But I responded 3 single times. Like, that was it, right? Like, it's not like we had a big, long conversation. So I just thought that was interesting, and I don't know, maybe a bit of an overreaction, but it's just something I kind of thought was interesting. I don't know, just want to hear your guys' thoughts. Second one, I think, is a little bit more interesting to talk about. So something that I preach regularly is I don't really bother. Man, again, I apologize. That's gonna suck, man. But I can, like, it sucks talking, so that's why I know it sucks. But the nose, man, I got the toilet paper ready to go here, just so I can like I can blow my nose. I've done it like what, probably like 50 times today. It doesn't help, but I just got it ready to wipe. Yeah. So that being said, the second one, I've preached this before. I'm not really a fan of texting for a long period of time before meeting. I think it's a complete waste of time. Anyway, I broke my own kind of rule set, and I decided to meet up with this girl after like texting for probably about a week. I think it was about a week, give or take, right? So anyway, we're texting for about a week. We ended up adding each other on Instagram, which I also normally don't do this. Not just because it's Instagram, but there's a specific reason I don't add people's like numbers or social medias or anything, because it's not going to work out a majority of the time. Let's just be honest. Like that's kind of a fact. And furthermore, it's just more steps I got to do to just end the conversation, which I'd rather not do. So probably for the last, like, honestly, like the last year, probably. Like we're talking like back like January, February, whatever of like 2024. I have been just talking on exclusively on dating apps until we pass a first date, and then I'll be like, yeah, now can I get your number? Um, Very rarely do I move in for a number before that. I honestly just think it's a waste of time. I say that because we had the date lined up, and the day before, the night before, she just out of nowhere just goes, "Hey, I don't feel a romantic connection here. Good luck. Like, I'm not interested." Just like that. Like, no other rhyme or reason. I haven't done anything. We were just talking about something. And I thought it was really interesting. Like the day before a date. I'll be honest, I didn't really see the date going anywhere. I know it's a bad outlook to take, but I think she might have been a little out of my league. And I'm realistic, right? I see that. I go, okay, cool. My chances of this going successfully maybe aren't the highest. They never have been. So it's like, all right. Like, not maybe a good sign. Uh, I didn't feel like the conversation was like stellar, but I was like, it's texting, right? Like, that's how it is. And I was like, all right, we'll meet and we'll see how it is. And I just find that really weird and like maybe disingenuous. If you're gonna match with somebody, like, why are you gonna take the time, and then say something like that you're not interested. I can respect that. At least they let me know and then like stand me up or something, like stand me up or something. But right, but it's like, why put all the work, right? And that's what I don't understand. Like, why bother doing all the work of like talking for a week? Because like if you're gonna do that, right? If you just like, yeah, right, and, you just call it off, right? I just find that really disingenuous. At least I didn't get like unmatched. I got a reason, right? I had a date. I wasn't gonna bring this one up, but I'll talk about it really briefly. But I had a date a while ago, not that long ago, but a while ago. And after the date, she said she had a good time. I was like, awesome, so did I. Would you like to get together again? And it was like literally like way later, like I don't know how many hours, but it was quite a long time later. She sent a message, and by the time it was like 10 minutes later, I was able to open it and look at it. She already like deleted her account. So I guess not, right? And I find that really weird too, because if you're gonna message me and then delete your account, I'm not gonna be able to read it. So I don't really know what the point of messaging me was. But yeah, I don't know, man. Online dating's a weird one. I think like the number one advice I always tell people, like with these two specific things about not asking any questions, and then the day before canceling the date. Those are the two specifics I wanted to talk about. Uh, you don't think about it. Like I didn't care. I was like, all right, saves me the time and hassle of having to do that, right? Even with the girl that canceled the day before, I gave her a couple ideas. I was like, yeah, I could get a coffee. There's a board game place, like a cafe, right? There's an arcade. Like I just shot out a few ideas, and she just basically was like, let's just get something to drink. And I was like, all right. Well, I gotta be honest, man. It's kind of boring, right? Like there's a couple fun ideas, right? Interactive ideas, and it's like, well, you don't want to do them. You don't want to kind of meet me in the middle. It's like, all right, yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, I think like my number one piece of criticism here for people, like if you guys are watching and you're actually like using me, which I'd be very surprised, but if you're using me and you're like, all right, like I gotta listen to this guy, it's just, yeah, don't take it seriously. Like, and that's for men and women, right? Like I wouldn't say especially one or the other. Like just don't take it seriously. Play it like a game, right? Whatever. All right, I didn't win, and then you just go on, right? You move on to the next one, and you don't worry about it. And if there isn't a next one, don't worry about it, right? Who cares, right? Like, just keep doing your thing, man. I'm just gonna go play video games. Like it's awesome, and that's what you need to focus on, right? Just having a good time. Who cares, right? Doesn't matter. They don't care. You don't care, right? It's awesome. It's a good time. But I think it is funny and it is interesting to see these things come up and like reflect on them. And I guess get my point of view. So, all right. Anyway, I just tried to make a video because I'm sick. I don't know. I had to do something else besides play games. So, all right. Thanks.